What's up, everybody? It is Dankamyouknow, and I am back with another video. And what I'm going to be doing today is installing a Noctua fan controller. And it's going to be this one right here. Let's see if I can get in the shot. Of course, I got a nice little smudge going on it right there. But it's already installed. I would show you the product, but I'll get to that a little bit later. But since the HP Omen's BIOS is completely locked, the only fan control we have is within Omen Command Center, and there's only the quiet, normal, and turbo mode. But what this controller does is it gives you the option to manually adjust the fan speed for the fans hooked up to the controller. So I ended up hooking up my front fan, bottom fan, and other bottom fan that I now have going, and I can adjust them to any speed I want. And so today I'm going to show you the install for this controller and show you the results I'm getting with it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first we're going to start off with the power cable for the fan controller. And one side is going to plug into a fan header on the motherboard. And I am using the front fan header. And right here I noticed that one of the pins was a little bit crooked on this side. So I just ever so lightly bend it back into place with a very small screwdriver just to make sure all pins are straight. And then I decide to mount up the controller, and I grab it out of the box and kind of mock it up to see how it looks. And I grab some double-sided Gorilla Tape, which is very sticky, but if I do need to remove the controller, it can be removed pretty easily and won't leave any residue. So I peel the backing and I get this ready to throw on, and I set it up as straight as I can. And that looks good right there. Nice and straight. Boom. All right, so next I'm going to route the SATA cable that is attached to this. And unfortunately, if you are using the second hard drive in this, which requires SATA, you will not be able to power this controller. Since I'm only using one hard drive, I still had that SATA cable available. So unfortunately, if you have both hooked up, there is no way to power this controller. So I get one side hooked up to the top of the controller, and I get the other side hooked up to my SATA power, which is connected to the power supply. And I tuck that away a little bit. We've got it plugged into the top. And so now I believe I'm reaching into the box for the fan controller, and I am grabbing the three-way harness it comes with. And Noctua harnesses are very stiff from the factory, so I'm just kind of flexing it and getting it ready so I can maneuver it however I need to. And that gets plugged into the bottom of the controller. And I apologize that it is out of the frame, but right here I'm going to be plugging in both bottom fans that I have going now. And there I am plugging in the left side and setting it into position between the power supply and the little bracket down there. And I'm making sure all cables are going to clear that fan. And then I get another leg of the harness hooked up to the second fan I have down there. And I get that plugged in, and I get that squared away. And since the legs of this harness are only probably about 5 inches, 4 inches long, I use an extension that I had from another fan, and I plug it into the leg, and then I feed it all the way up to the top. And then here I'm just kind of getting it cleanly up to the top, as clean as I can with all the new cables I'm adding into the mix. But I get my front fan hooked up to the final leg. And then I get that, and then now I'm just kind of pushing it out of the way and making sure it's clearing everything. And then now I'm just reviewing my work, making sure everything's plugged in securely. All fans are plugged in. And then I make sure both of those are back in and we're ready to go. All right, so let's go over one more time exactly how this controller is hooked up and also my current fan configuration. So on the controller itself, the knob you see is going to be the manual speed adjustment, and I have it set to about 1 o'clock right now. And then the button down there is going to be no stop mode. So if you set your manual knob to a very low speed and you are using low speed fans, the fan may stop altogether. So what no stop mode does is it prevents it from stopping. And the way the fans are hooked up to this is by a 3-way cable, and one is plugged into my left 120 millimeter fan. The 80 millimeter is also plugged in, and that used to be for my stock CPU cooler. But now since I'm using a Noctua CPU cooler, it was an extra fan. So now I'm using it as an intake with my other 120 millimeter. And the last leg you see down there is going to be used with an extension, and that is plugged into my front fan. And the way this controller is getting power is through this top cable, and that top cable is being plugged into the front fan header, and it is also being plugged into a SATA port, and this is the extra SATA port that is supposed to be for a hard drive, but I'm not currently using a second hard drive, so I'm using that SATA power to control and power this fan. And my 2 CPU cooler fans are being Y-split into my CPU LC fan. And this fan is pushing towards the cooler. And the rear fan is pulling air away towards the back exhaust fan. And this is also a 92 millimeter. And that is being Y-split with my top exhaust fan, and that is 120 millimeter, and those are Y-split into my system fan header. So that is my current fan configuration right now. It's working very well. I'm getting really good temps. The fan noise is very low, and I'm very satisfied with the Noctua fans and the controller. So as far as results go, I didn't see too much change in my CPU temperature, and I think it's mainly due to the fact that the bottom fans are now pushing more airflow, but my graphics card is actually blocking all of that airflow from traveling upward. And even with my front fan spinning at a higher RPM, it wasn't enough of a change to make a difference in CPU temperatures. But what I really noticed a difference in was my graphics card temperatures. Now I'm seeing changes anywhere from about 2 Celsius up to about 5 Celsius as far as my graphics card temperatures go, and there's been staying in the low 60s while they used to be around the mid 60s. So for $20, this fan has dropped my graphics card temperatures by about 5 Celsius. So while it didn't make too much difference in my CPU temperatures, it really helped keep my graphics card a little bit cooler. So overall, I think it was a very good investment. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video, and we are getting so close to 1,000 subscribers. And once I hit 1,000, that means I'm going to be go ahead and giving away this bad boy. And sorry, my ring light is causing all sorts of reflection on this thing. But yeah, we're getting so close to 1,000, guys. Only about 45 more. Then I'm going to be giving this away. And I think for 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do another Omen setup video with all of your guys' submissions being in the video. So look out for details on that. That's going to be coming up soon. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.